Jackson gave me the news of a planet far away. And Colonel O'Neill will assemble a team that will try to save the day. Dr. Sam has a master plan and a science attitude. And the job for Teal, he's part of the deal with his trusty Goa'uld. It's just a regular day at Stargate Command, and it might be hard to understand.
Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Oh god, this is gonna happen. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 what? We have a single world.
We're back, bitches. It's been a minute, but we're back.
It's been a hot minute.
I'm your co-fry,
yeah.
Sarah.
Co-fry Christina.
And I'm your co-fry Wells.
And it's been like a solid month, I think, since we've done an episode. We did our hot take episode in between, but that was because like we had the big sads and like wanted to
Oh
eat stuff.
god.
So
I forgot
Christina,
y'all did that.
Yeah,
It's been a hot minute for me.
Yeah. It's been before probably like the beginning of September, honestly. Since before I went to Disney. So
It's been a while.
yeah.
Oh god. Yeah.
It's been a while. And heads up for anyone, if I'm blurry, we know that I'm blurry. We're working with backwoods Wi-Fi, so
we're still having Wi-Fi issues, so bear with us.
Okay.
That country Wi-Fi.
Country Wi-Fi.
The podunk Wi-Fi, yes.
Spectrum.
We are here.
We're coming for you. All right. So let's get into the fry box, get some updates out of the way, and then we'll get into our episode.
All right, let's do it.
Short, cause we're 3 fries short.
Yeah, so I guess we wanted to talk just very briefly about, and people know because we've posted on socials and everything, but like, it's been a heck of a 2 weeks and some change now since Hurricane Helene came through.
It's only been 2 weeks. Oh my
It's been 2 weeks and 2 days at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really rough, and everybody is still trying to get back to anywhere they can get back to at this point. So, I feel at least we're trying to return to normalcy. It's kind of difficult, obviously, when you have connection issues and most of your life exists online, which is surprisingly a thing that I didn't realize 2 weeks ago was going to be such like a bother, you know? But yeah, it's been a little rough, y'all.
No comment on the rough. I have a home. I mean, I have a home, but but I don't know how we want to talk through this very briefly, but
we're not. I mean, if you haven't seen our posts, you've seen our posts. So like we don't need to like spend a long time on what we've gone through. Other than to say there are people that are going to continue needing resources and help for a really long time. And the news is going to stop talking about it, and people are still going to need that help. So I did post, or I texted Sarah and Christina earlier, and I was like, what do we think about trying to direct some people to some specific thing that people can help with? Because there's so many options out there. It's a bit overwhelming, even just when you try to go and be like, where can I put resources toward or something? But I found one that specifically speaks to the River Arts District in Asheville, North Carolina, which is one of the areas that was like wiped out basically in Asheville. And they're working on getting money together. I think I'm freezing. I don't know if I'm freezing.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, you're good. You're good.
They're working on getting money together specifically to help those artists whose studios were destroyed, and also a lot of their houses have been destroyed and everything too. So it's like their work and their living place is gone. So if anybody does is out there listening to us that wants to contribute in any way to hurricane relief, we're suggesting if you go to riverartsdistrict.com, you can give money that will go directly to these artists. There are tons of other places that you can give to, and by all means, pick what you want to. But I felt like this was a good suggestion for us specifically because we are talking about arts, and arts are important. We all know this. Like even when you're going through terrible things, like the arts do so much to help you and to boost you, and they need to not be the ones that are forgotten about or like shoved to the side or
Totally.
anything. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think maybe just like I think a lot of times I assume people know, so I'm just gonna do this like obnoxious, like repetitive for those who aren't aware or have maybe been under a rock, just the reason why we're talking about this. So Wells in particular and I live very closely in this impacted area. I myself recently moved to Asheville, but Wells is from the area for much longer, just about an hour or so south of it, and Asheville is very near and dear to their life and kind of their whole kind of story. And so this is why, so just for those who may not know, just to bring this back, why, because we're very personally impacted by this, but at the same time very fortunate in a lot of ways. And this is why for us, when we think about it, we are people very in the trenches related to this disaster, and this truly is the best way that I also agree we can give back, because this area was absolutely devastated, and it's really hard to see. I did drive past it when I went by this last time, and it is really challenging, and my heart goes out to them. So please, if you can, if you're wanting to find a way to help or spread the word, please do.
Yeah. They have all their nonprofit information on their website, so it's vetted. It's like it's above board. I know there's a lot of people don't know which ones to give to because they're concerned where the money's going or something. So like feel free to look around on that website so you can see exactly. But this is the organization that's like, it's the River Arts District Artists, like a collective sort of thing. And they're trying to help them specifically. It's hard to pick like where you want to send money to. There's recently a whole bunch of music. There's a lot of musicians from Asheville that are very close to Greenville musicians too. And I'm very involved in the live music scene around the area. And it's just like, I keep seeing all these stories of individual musicians whose like houses have been destroyed and like they're, they can't go, they're not going to be able to go back in. They lost all their stuff. And it's like so overwhelming to try to pick something, but at some point you got to pick something to direct people to. So
Totally.
This one felt good. So I recommend this one. But if you know of other ones as well, by all means, help out however you can. That's my big message to people out there. People need help, and they're going to need it for a very long time. So
yes.
Yeah. And just to echo what you said, Wells, for people who are more removed from it, like myself, I don't live in that area. I know many people watch us don't live in that area, but just remember, like you said, Wells, you're going to stop hearing about it on the news, but it's going to take a long time for people to fully recover, and maybe they'll never be whole again. Businesses might have to like shut down. People might lose everything. So just because you're not hearing about it anymore doesn't mean people still aren't struggling.
No.
Correct.
And I think something that I was talking through with some neighbors of mine is a good reference point. I think that not people understand is that those who have it the best case scenario in that area are still without water. For even those who have like that come out of it like unscathed the most are still without water, still without resources, still without like schools are out. There's still a lot. So like that's the best case scenario. And then it goes way downhill from there. So just to kind of put that level that like no one escaped this impacted. And it is just something where it's just important to know that it will take a long time. So thank you.
Cool. To bounce right off of that to my next point, which is Terrell Rothery is going to be rescheduled. We've been talking to her a lot through this entire thing. And at this point, she's busy before SpaceCon. We're busy before SpaceCon. So it'll be sometime, hopefully in November. If we can grab a day with her, we'll do it. I did hear from somebody that during her meditation session the other weekend, she mentioned like the hurricane and everything that was going on, and like was very very sweet about it all. She's been super sweet to us too about everything. So I can't wait to actually be able to finally get her on.
Right.
Like it's going to be really nice, but we will just let you know whenever that can happen. It's just going to take a little bit to figure that out. One reason for that being SpaceCon. That's my third point in the fry box. Christina and I will be at SpaceCon in San Antonio.
We will.
What, a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. I don't know. It's coming up really close, really soon.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We have a booth there, a table. I think it's in the artist alley and the author alley area. We do not have a panel. We couldn't get a panel to happen, but that's okay because we're just going to walk around and talk to people anyway. It's going to be a good time. Tara will be there. I think on the Stargate side of things, it's Shanks, Terrell, Lex at Doig, Ben Browder, and RDA. RDA is going to be there. So, and if you're a Trekkie, there's a ton of Trekkies, Trek people that are going to be there, including like everybody that was in Star Trek Voyager.
Shit.
And if you like,
lineup,
you got headliners because Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, like all tons of people. Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I guess it's slow in the industry right now, so they're snagging big name people. Like Josh Brolin's going to be there. What? Why? Like
that's wild.
Why is Josh Brolin going to be there?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're pulling big people because I guess it's a bit of a lull going on right now in Hollywood. So yeah, come see us if you're going to be there. And if you're not, then we'll grab Terrell as soon as we can afterwards. And we hate that Sarah's not going to be there with us, but
sorry.
She
she
prioritized some Disney and some other things going on, which is totally understandable. Totally understandable.
Just so you know, like prioritizing will continue for like the next year. So like I probably won't be able to travel for like the next coming year just because like I need to save up money for other stuff. Like
other stuff.
I'm getting married. I'm getting
married. Thank you.
I'm
saving money for other stuff. Yes, we know.
Yeah. Flash the ring.
Yeah, so it's all ready. We got the caterer fully paid off because they were running a special where it's like, if you pay it all now, we'll give you 30% off. So we did that. The venue, photographer, I think those are like the top 3 like really expensive things, but that'll be a 3 fries wedding. You obviously will be invited. So November 9th, 2025, not this year. Jesus Christ. Mark your calendars.
Quines couldn't keep me away.
Excellent. So yeah.
Be there.
So yeah, that's what's been going on with us.
Yeah.
Just a few things.
It's like I almost said, "How are you? How are you? How are you all?" How are you doing?
I don't know. It's like that. Oh gosh, what's that interview where? Oh gosh, who was it that was getting interviewed? And they asked how, and not Meghan Markle, but someone else. And they're like, "How are you?"
Was it Alona Mar on Dancing with the Stars? And she's like, "I've been better."
That one's great.
No. That was great, but the one where she just starts crying and she's just like, I'm like, maybe just don't ask that question. I think we just like skip over it.
Relatable.
Like, how are you? I think we just.
I do love Alona Mars. I've been better. What's her name? What's her name? I've been better.
Carrie or something.
Carrie Ann or something.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
That was felt. That was felt.
Just like her look, her expression too.
Been better, Carrie Ann.
Yeah. So, I think that's everything fit to print or whatever the expression is. I'm gonna put a call out now for the comments. Again, we'll read all the comments at the end. We'll go through, but since this is a very conspiracy episode, I want to hear your guys' favorite conspiracy theories. And it can be ridiculous. The moon is made of cheese type of shit. I don't care. I want to hear it all. So get those ready because we'll go over them at the end.
I'll keep an eye on the comments as we go along and try to star them. So drop them if you got them.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite parts of this episode was just like hearing the random off the wall conspiracies that Marty spurted out. That recording at the beginning is so hilarious. Like
that is the text. That is the text that is in this overlay.
I saw that when we went live, and I was like, "Oh my god, they got the transcript."
Yep. That's that text
the lizard
right
people.
There. Yep.
Yeah. So, without further ado, we are talking about season 4, episode 11, Point of No Return. Which, thinking about it now, I kind of wonder why it was called that, like how it earned that title. Maybe we can theorize about that as we go, because it doesn't really. I can't think of anything that jumps right out. But
it is, in fact, the title of this episode makes me confuse it with the very next episode, which is Tangent.
Yes,
because it sounds like a better name for that episode.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know what this one would be called.
Mm-hmm.
They could have thought of many cooler conspiracy-esque names. But yeah, so that's the episode we're talking about. And our episode begins with SG-1 waiting in the briefing room for General Hammond. And they're all kind of like talking shit and bitching about like how much better things they have to do. And they don't know why they've been called to this. They're like, what the hell is going on? Like, I could be doing this and I could be doing that. And Jack is like, I was about to do something important. Yeah, totally.
As well.
Right. But Hammond comes in and tells the team they have a problem. And he plays a call that the base switchboard received at 4 a.m. And it's a man asking for Colonel O'Neill and to not bother tracing the call because, you know, I'm in a phone booth in Montana and I'll be long gone by the time you get here. And he goes on to explain that he knows about Roswell and the Kennedy cover-ups. And then Hammond like fast forwards on his little tape recorder, and he's like, he goes on like this for a while.
It's a very slapsticky moment. It like
it's really funny.
So good.
Yeah.
So he fast forwards, and then when he plays it again, he's still going. And the CIA sanctioned microwave harassment, which I don't even know what that means, but it sounds hilarious. And Hammond is like, quite a while. And he presses play again. And the lizard people. And like, so he fast forwards again. But then the man proceeds to say that he's talking about a large circular object discovered in Egypt, currently residing in the bottom of a missile silo under Cheyenne Mountain. I believe you call it the Stargate. And now that I've gotten your attention, I want to meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. New Cloverleaf restaurant in Billings, which is Montana, which is a completely different state that they're in right now. And he tells Jack to come alone. So obviously the immediate thought is somebody is blabbing and security has been breached. I automatically, like, if I was watching this first time, I'm thinking like Mayborn, NID, something's going on with them. That's my first
100%.
thought. And I think that's kind of what they wanted people to think. So Hammond has ordered the team to go meet with this man and find out everything they can. Opening credits. So we cut to this diner. Jack is sitting in a booth and the man approaches him.
Like X-Files vibes at this point, you know?
Yeah. This is also like the late 90s, early 2000s where every fucking thing is relaxed fit. Everything they're wearing, all of their civvies, it looks so dated now, but when you were watching it, it's like this is, you know, pretty generic. But those pants, man, nothing was fitted back then. It was all relaxed fit.
We're kind of going back there.
Yeah.
We kind of have been, so.
Jinkos are back in, that's for sure.
I also think they did Sam dirty with her civvies. Was that like coral colored turtleneck? And
that was in though. That was so in.
And she was wearing like, I call it a Canadian tux, where she's wearing jeans and a jean jacket. That's a lot.
I love that.
That's a lot of denim.
You call that a Canadian tux?
Yeah.
Yeah, Canadian tuxedo.
Yeah.
You don't know that term?
It's a thing.
No. Denim on denim?
Yes.
Denim on denim. It's a Canadian tuxedo.
I can't do it.
Oh my god. Well, that's like always on trend. It's just like the fit of like how it's done. But I love me a good Canadian tuxedo. I'll take that loss every day because I just love it.
I think it's really weird if the denims are different colors. Like if your jeans are a light wash and like the jacket is not. Like if they match, I don't know. I guess it could be. I guess it depends. Like if you have a dark wash jean.
I would be more comfortable with them not matching.
Yeah.
Than like if they were same. That feels like Canadian.
Okay. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I called it wrong. Yes. But hers matched. So it was very much that vibe with that turtleneck. Anyway, their civvies are weird. And it does unfortunately date it. I know Brad has talked about trying to make the show like where you can't date it. They almost didn't put that 3 fries short of a Happy Meal into Window of Opportunity because he was afraid it would sound too dated. So I think this is the one part, unfortunately, where if you see them in anything but their BDUs or their SGC uniform, unfortunately it does kind of date it. But that's just what you get with any show. Like
That's
even
what
if
clothes
yeah,
were off the rack. Like
yeah,
there's
It's just unavoidable.
So anyway, Jack is sitting in the booth and a man approaches him. He introduces himself as Martin and he believes he was followed, but he thinks he was able to lose him. He's like, I'm good. I got him. Before they start talking, he requests to check Jack for transmitters and scans him with some kind of handheld remote device.
looks like a vape.
Yeah, from the jump, you can tell this guy's a nut job. Like, he's kind of like this nerdy, squirrely looking guy. He's wearing glasses. Like, he kind of looks like a face in the crowd, but when he opens that yapper, man, like everything that comes out is like, you are a nut. So it'd be easy to kind of like classify him as such. We see Teal'c is in the back dressed as a cook.
I love that scene so much where he's just like spinning it and you just
they got
camera.
cameras back
Camera.
there on that little carousel for the tickets. His eyeliner, his eyeshadow is on point.
It was on point. It was so good.
I feel like they should have at least made him wipe that off to blend in a little bit better. And the hidden camera that he's adjusting leads out to a van where Sam and Daniel are watching. So this is an Earth episode, and it's kind of one where we don't really go to another planet. It's all on Earth. So Sam is looking up information on this man. She already has his driver's license. And back in the diner, Martin starts talking. So this is between Marty and O'Neill's. Did you guys want to read that?
Sure.
There's two big chunks.
All right, I'll let you do the honors. Which one do you want to pick?
I'll be O'Neill.
Oh, okay. Well, give me Marty. Oh gosh. Oh, hold on. I jumped somewhere in the notes. 1 second. Okay, here we are. All right. So Marty says, a top secret government program involving instantaneous travel to other solar systems by means of a device known as a Stargate.
Sounds like a good idea for a TV show, if you're into that sort of thing.
Colonel, let's not play games. If it isn't true, then why did you come here?
The truth. There is a top secret government program called Project Stargate.
I knew it.
But it has nothing to do with space travel.
What does it have to do with?
Magnets.
I have to go through the Stargate.
Marty,
No, I mean it. I've come to realize that I don't belong here. For the longest time, I was obsessed with all these alien conspiracies, crop circles, cow mutilations, the Apollo cover-up.
I thought the lunar landings were a hoax.
No, that was a story created by the government to direct attention from the real cover-up. Everybody knows that. And you're not convinced, apparently.
I'm not.
Anyway, one day I'm online and I find this conspiracy chat room and they're talking about something called the Stargate. Most of it was misinformation, but the word Stargate stuck in my head. It triggered what I later realized was a suppressed memory. You see, Colonel O'Neill, the truth is, I'm not just interested in outer space. I'm from outer space.
Doesn't O'Neill say like check please at this point or something?
Yes.
Like check please.
Yeah. So it's interesting because he does come across as like a conspiracy nut job, but he has just enough information about the Stargate to be like, okay, how do you know all this? You're getting too much right. And he continues to get a lot of information right about the Stargate. So it makes you wonder, okay, something's not right here. Also, as far as Jack goes, he's very good at like being nonchalant, because if someone told me that, I'm too much like, I'd be like, bitch, where the fuck did you hear that? Where'd you get that info? Like, I'd want to know. Like, I couldn't cover up.
Bitch.
Spill the tea, girl. Where'd you get that info from? Like, I'd be too much of a gossip. I'd be like, girl, what?
But see, I like how he does it because
he's doing a good job. Yeah.
But he does the like, it is real, but it's about magnets. Like, I feel like that's the like
boring
workaround to be like, oh, I'm kind of telling you that I'm not.
Yeah, that's the cover story. And deep space telemetry or whatever the fuck, something.
Oh
boring.
yeah.
Yeah. So back in the van, Sam gets more details on Martin. It looks like he's got a criminal record. He was arrested for protesting outside a TV station. He said subliminal advertising was controlling his thoughts. And then she was able to locate his address. So they're still sprinkling in, like, this guy's a whack job. Like, he is a nut. He believed, like, what was it? CIA sanctioned microwave, whatever. Yep. Like, I don't know. But anyway, back at the diner, we have some more dialogue between Marty and O'Neill. And this is where he gives us more info where it's like, okay, bitch, where'd you learn that? Because that's actually correct.
Yeah.
You guys go ahead and read that.
Yeah. So you still don't believe me? I'm an alien.
You look pretty human to me.
No, what I believe is that thousands of years ago, people were taken from Earth, maybe as part of some experiment, maybe as slaves, who knows? But the point is, there are entire civilizations up there descending from those original humans.
Now, that's just crazy talk.
Want proof? I can give you proof. I can show you my ship.
So just as, he gets the check, he's about to blow this guy off. There's a note written on the check that says, stall him, we found his address. So he was just about to be like, sorry, got to go by. But then he's like, but actually, we're very, we want to cover all our bases. So sure, yeah, I'll go with you. So
he's like, cut it.
He's like so annoyed. He's like, oh god, like this guy could be like an axe murderer. Who knows? And it's like, okay, yeah, let's get in the car.
I'm worried about that so much. I think that's more true. Like, why do I gotta be the one for this? Like, this is somebody else's job. This is never my job to have.
This is like a Daniel Jackson job.
This is a Daniel job. Yeah.
Right. So Marty and Jack start hiking through the woods while Sam and Daniel and Teal'c perform a B&E on his house. They just go in. We see Sam's lock-picking skills. I think this is the first time.
This is the first time, I think, yeah.
This is a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
His house is full of space-themed alien decor / like toys. It's like blow up
90s era space-themed stuff. Like,
yeah.
I know because I had some of it. Not gonna lie.
Like, you got like the galaxy lights and
the glow in the dark, the black light, like sensitive alien head things. Oh god, yeah. It was all the rage. It was all the rage.
Yeah.
I had an inflatable chair too. I'm not like legitimately. So
yeah,
that's amazing.
So Daniel looks through his medicine cabinet and finds a ton of different medications. Like tranquilizers, antidepressants, and antipsychotics. Back in the woods, Jack and Marty can't find the ship. Marty is frustrated and he blames his medication, saying his memory is messed up and he gets confused. So Jack tells him, like, listen, there's no ship. You're not an alien. And he offered, like, let me give you a ride back into town. Like, we're done with this. Back at the house, Daniel finds a diary and reads an entry.
This is so good.
It reads, April 12th. Someone has gone through my garbage. Suspect CIA. Must take precautions. May 2nd, comb missing. Suspect CIA has stolen it to acquire genetic information. June 26th, comb found behind dresser. Disposed of it in case of tampering. Bought new comb 39 cents at Shop Mart. So once again, we're seeing things that make him appear a little unhinged. We see... so like we see again that Marty's a nut, but again, he's been right about a lot of stuff so far, so it's still worth a little bit of digging. Cut to a warehouse. We see two men watching Sam, Daniel, and Teal'c searching Marty's house through a surveillance setup. And he actually is being watched, but by who and why? So the plot thickens. Cut back to the SGC. Fraser has tested Marty's medication. I don't know. Did they like airlift that shit to him? How long has it been?
No. They said that they had it done at a lab there and they faxed over the results.
Okay, but still, like
Fraser said that.
I feel like I don't know how fast they had that done, but like it seemed like it was done within an hour.
I mean,
it's been long enough for them to have to go to the psychiatrist. They're on the way to the psychiatrist.
That's true.
Office,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Fraser says she found several unidentifiable chemicals and believes they've been tampered with, and this may have been cause for the delusion. So it's like, okay, maybe he's crazy because they're giving him shit to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, the name of the doctor is on the medicine, so cut to a psychiatrist's office. Sam and Daniel are talking to the doctor that prescribed the medication. His name is Dr. Tanner. And he said, let's put it this way. People like Martin sometimes compensate for their feelings of insignificance by creating elaborate fantasies in which they are center and focus of all the attention. These people are usually harmless, although they may try to draw attention into their illusions. That's what's happened here. So it all sounds very clinical and explain away type of thing. We have an answer for this. He's just crazy. Cut to a motel room. This was so fucking funny. I laughed. Jack is watching The Day the Earth Stood Still, and we hear this vibration sound in the background. And then it stops. And then Teal'c walks up to Jack and holds his hand out like a child. And Jack just reaches in his pocket and pulls out a handful of quarters, gives it to Teal'c, and then Teal'c goes over and starts this vibrating bed again. My question is, do they even have these anymore? Is this still a thing? Was it really a thing back in that time? Like, was that
I think it mostly was at certain motels.
Certain
by
the hour.
Certain motels, but
for some freaky shit.
Yeah, that's where you you're not gonna stay there long.
No.
So that was really funny. Just the whole setup of like the way Teal'c comes over and is just like, give me more. He's really enjoying it, and I love to see Teal'c enjoy stuff because you don't see it too often. Like, he was really having fun.
It's like that same I think it's in season 5 when like Sam
battle in a ring of jello.
Right. But when he goes Star Wars, like when he says Star Wars, he like just seems to get so much joy from it. It's great.
Yeah. I love to see Teal'c happy. So we hear Marty knocking on the door, and he believes someone broke into his house. Insert this long, convoluted rant of how he figured out someone broke in. Because I guess he set up a toothpick against his door so that when someone opened the door, he could tell. But then he leaves through his window, and on the window, he leaves the hair. So if the hair is, like, it's ridiculous.
So here's my suspension of disbelief moment with this, right? Like, he's so aware. He's aware enough for all of that. But he's not aware enough to notice this giant camera in this alien head in his room.
Right.
For real.
Like, you would check everything, but you don't check the things for monitoring you. Like, that's
right.
Yeah.
So that's just one of those, I know I got to suspend my disbelief. It's fine. But like, yeah.
He also talks about how he found where Jack was staying because he was like, in your car, I saw this map that was the blah, blah, blah motel. And I checked all of them in the city. And Jack was like, there were 2.
There's 2.
Like, chill. So again, just going to show how a little unhinged this guy is. Cut back to Sam and Daniel. They're trying to get more info out of this doctor about Marty's medication, but the doctor is kind of like brushing them off. And when they tell him the medication appears to be tampered with, he gets defensive. And he's like, well, I only write the scripts. I don't make the drug. And he tells them the investigation will only fuel Marty's paranoia, but Sam and Daniel are determined to continue with or without his help. So the only other thing he can provide is Marty's place of work. So like, okay, cool, we'll follow this. Back at the motel, we have some more dialogue between Marty and Jack.
Okay, we're going to keep our people?
Sure.
Okay. I knew it would come to this. They'll do tests on me. They'll dissect me like one of those demented high school biology experiments.
Look, you got to relax. Nobody's going to do anything to you. I promise. No. If, and I stress the word if, there is such a thing, what makes you think your way home is through this Stargate?
I don't know. I get these ideas, flashes. It's a little confusing, actually. I don't even know for sure why I want to go. It's just a feeling. I'm somebody there. Like there's something important for me to do there, more important than anything I can do here. Can I have a glass of water?
So Marty goes to take some of his medication, and Jack tells him to cool it on the meds for a little bit. And then Marty asks Jack about the symbols. He's like, I keep seeing these symbols. And he hands Jack a piece of paper with a gate address on it. So shit's really getting real now.
Mm-hmm.
Back with Sam and Daniel, we see they followed the address to Marty's work, but it is just an empty warehouse. And then they are cornered by 2 goons with guns. So it's like, it was a setup.
It was
We
a
could
setup
tell.
all along. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. See?
I think we get some snarky Daniel in here too. He's really funny.
I think both of them having to answer their questions is wonderful.
Yeah. Because Sam is like, there's nobody here. Like, who's in charge? And it was Daniel, and Sam was like, I think the guys with guns pointed at us are in charge. So
Maybe.
back at the hotel, Jack is trying to get a hold of Sam and Daniel. They should have been in contact with them by now, and Marty is freaking out. So here's some more dialogue between Marty and Jack, and there's a Teal'c in here, which I will get whatever Teal'cs.
I love that I get to be the one just slowly losing their mind.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great.
I love it. I love it. I think this is on par for how I feel in real life. Okay, this is totally unfair. Just because I'm from another planet, I don't have rights? I mean, doesn't the Geneva Convention protect extraterrestrials? I'll have to remember to go online and look that up.
Marty, sit down. Let's talk about these symbols.
Sit down. They mean something, don't they?
Right now, I need you to think very carefully. Where did you see them?
I told you I have these visions. I don't know where they come from. Maybe it has something to do with my implant.
Excuse me?
They put an implant in my head. I always thought they were sending me symbols.
To whom are you referring?
You know, the secret government, the New World Order, the black helicopters, underground bases. Don't you guys read the papers?
Marty, for God's sake.
You don't believe me. My neurologist didn't believe me either. The implant is so small, it can't be read under a normal x-ray.
This is going nowhere. I'm going to go look for Carter and Daniel, and then to Teal'c. Keep an eye on him.
So back at this warehouse,
Jack's just like, you're babysitting for a while. I can't.
which honestly, it turns out pretty funny. Like when Jack comes back to what poor Teal'c, he's just like, I want to sit on the fun bed and like relax.
That's all I want out of my day.
And I have to babysit this guy. So back at the warehouse, the goons are interrogating Sam and Daniel, asking what they know about Marty and why they were searching his house. And they of course deny it, even when they're like showing them video footage. Like, we weren't there. It wasn't us.
I love how every time SG-1 gets captured throughout the entirety of the show, for the most part, how unbothered they are.
I know. They don't
like,
know.
oh, well, we're captured again.
Oh, darn. They don't know who these people are. Like, it could be some really nefarious fucking people. And, like, they're just like, la la la, I guess. Like, whatever. Yep. To be that unbothered in life, what I wouldn't give.
I guess you had to be bothered a lot before
to get to that point.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
We're like, this is nothing. At least I'm still at home on Earth. Like, I could be on another planet. So they're gaslight, gatekeeping, and girl bossing their way out of this interrogation. Sam asks who they work for, the CIA, the NID. Back at the motel, Jack returns, and we see that Teal'c has locked Marty in the bathroom to keep him from taking his meds. He's just like, time out, bitch. Jack tells Teal'c that the psychiatrist's office was completely empty, like it had never been there. So he kind of scoped out the psychiatrist's office and stuff. So, okay, what the heck was that? They're cleaned out completely. So we have some more dialogue between Marty and O'Neill, and again, there's some Teal'c in there. So we kind of hear Marty talking through the bathroom door, begging to be let out.
He's like, Murray, listen, I'm really sorry. I tried to bite you, and I realized it was totally out of line. But I was wondering if I could come out now, or if I could just, or I could just stay in here. That's good too. It's just I'm getting a little dizzy.
I don't get it. How does a nutcase like that get a set of gate coordinates?
So we hear a bump from the bathroom, and O'Neill walks over, and we see that Marty has collapsed on the floor.
Marty? Martin, you all right? Oh, crap. Marty? Marty, come on, Marty.
In hindsight, we should have given him his medication, O'Neill.
Marty wakes up.
Colonel, I remember where my ship is.
So, back at the warehouse, the goons show Sam and Daniel footage of Teal'c, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" And this is where we get like a really funny, like,
Can I just do Daniel?
yeah, this is a snarky Daniel, because they're asking about Teal'c and who he is, and I don't know if they've told them that they're with the Air Force. I think they have at one point, like,
They
we're the
did,
Air
yeah,
Force.
early
Who are
on, yeah.
you? Yeah.
Okay, so Daniel just says he's an associate.
Yeah, we know that. We also know that he's not from around here.
Not from Montana?
I think you know what I mean.
So back with Marty, Jack, and Teal'c, we see him leading them through the woods to a clearing. He trips over something, and when he clears the grass away, we see a ship. Jack alerts the troops, and more people from the Air Force come to help excavate the ship. We see that the material the object is made of is definitely not terrestrial. It's about 16 feet by 10 feet wide. Sorry, people who don't use freedom units, figure it out. Marty says that it's too small for it to be his ship, and it must be an escape pod. They must have abandoned the ship. So Jack asks, like, how many people were with you? Like, you're not the only one? What the hell? So about 4 to 5 people is what they're guessing based off of the ship. So Marty now realizes that it hasn't been the government following him, but his peers that he escaped to Earth with. Teal'c says, what would these others want? Marty says, I don't know. Maybe they're afraid. They don't want to be exposed. And Teal'c says, if that's the case, then these others may indeed be responsible for the disappearance of Daniel and Major Carter. So back with Sam and Daniel, the goons are pressing them for more info on Teal'c, and they're just like, he's a
Sam.
speechwriter. Yeah,
He's
like
what's his specialty? She's like, speechwriter.
yeah, he plays for the band. I don't know, like he. So the goons show an infrared image of Teal'c's symbiote. Because, like, when they were first watching the video footage of them, like, when it was just them, they're like, oh, switch to infrared on that one. And they can kind of see, like, oh, he's not from around here. So they show him that, and Daniel plays it off. He's like, oh, that's interesting. Did you draw that yourself? What is that? Is that a duck? Like, they're just being shits. When it's like, you don't know who these people are. Like, they could really mess you up. And they're just like, whatever. It's like, what was it? The first ones? Guess I'm gonna get eaten.
Yep.
Lol.
Lol. Yep.
Oh.
Every time.
Guess we're kidnapped. LOL.
LOL.
Are we still getting paid for this? So, back with Marty, he's remembering more and more. His homeworld was under attack when they were sent to find allies. They got to Earth and realized that Earth wasn't advanced enough to help. And Jack was like, yeah, sorry, we, I forget what he says, but he's like, we have our moments. I don't know. The enemy wanted to make slaves out of them, and we confirmed that it was the Goulds. Like Teal'c shows, he takes his bucket hat off and shows his forehead symbol, and so we confirm it was the Gould. The other soldiers alert Jack that they found a hatch and they're ready to open it, but Marty stops them because if they open it, a sensor will alert the others. So Jack and Teal'c are like, we could use this information to our advantage. Back with Sam and Daniel, we see them talking among themselves. Sam is like, these guys know what a symbiote is, but if they were really NID, they'd know that Teal'c isn't a security threat. So it's like, who are these people? The goons come back, this time along with Dr. Tanner, who was one of them the whole time. Shocking. We hear a beeping sound come from a small remote in one of their pockets, which is alerting them that the ship has been found. Back at the ship, Marty
this is also the only time throughout the entire, so the Dr. Tanner guy pulls out a syringe, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the only time throughout the entire interrogation where like they cut to Sam's face at one point and she's like, fuck.
Yeah.
This is the only time through the whole thing where either of them goes like, oh.
Don't inject me with a clear viscous material, please. Like,
might be in trouble. Yeah.
Yeah. That don't even get me started on that. That would scare the shit out of me. So they know that the ship has been found. Marty is going to be used as bait, and the goons show up and they take Marty. So this is between Marty and Dr. Tanner.
Okay, I can stay as Marty.
Sure.
All right, so you're gonna drug me again?
Well, obviously that didn't work. I'm afraid we're going to have to take more drastic measures.
You're not gonna kill me. You know how many people know about this now? What about Major Carter and Dr. Jackson? Are you gonna kill all of us?
We're going to do what we have to do.
This isn't right. I know you. I know all of you. We were in this ship together. That's why you drugged me in the first place. Oh, sorry, I skipped a point. We're soldiers, not murderers. That's why you drugged me in the first place.
Martin?
It's not too late. Our people are at war. They need us.
Martin, I hate to see you like this. You're my best agent.
I was never any kind of agent. You just saying that because you think I'm bugged.
Well, aren't you?
No, of course not. The government agency thing was just a cover. We're all really aliens, right?
With all the secrecy and all the lies, you can get confused.
Who's confused? I know who I am. Why are you guys doing this? Why can't you just admit it? We can all just go home. They have a Stargate.
So the whole time, Jack and Teal'c are listening through their surveillance van and they're monitoring, they're tracking their movement. And we can see that Marty has stopped moving. So they go to his location and it's in the warehouse. We find Sam and Daniel tied up. They look like they've been drugged with something. And we see Marty is in the van tied up in the back. Marty tells them that he stole the remote device from the man and it looks like it's a countdown. And they have to run and get out because it's a countdown. And it's this dramatic running and leaping away from the building that does not pay off at all because there was no explosion there. The spaceship in the field is what blew up. They self-destructed that.
But I mean, how are you supposed to know? I mean, you see a countdown. I'm going to think.
I know. It was definitely meant to be campy for sure. Like the leaping, I lost. I was like, this is fucking silly, man. Like,
Also, the distance at which they had to leap from the porch, whatever area, onto cement, just full out. Somebody broke something. Come on. Somebody cracked their ribs. Somebody did something. Like
rolled an ankle. I don't fucking like. We were doing broad jumps in gym class the other day in my gym, and I was like, "This is fucking awful. This is
right.
This is not the best mode of transportation."
Concrete thing onto more concrete, like,
and they didn't land on their feet. Like they like
chest burst. Yeah.
Woo. So yeah, it was dramatic and campy and silly.
Mm-hmm.
So cut to the SGC. They are dialing Marty's gate address and sending a map through. Marty tells them the Stargate is just like he remembered. So we have some more dialogue between Marty and Jack.
All right. I remember everything now. There was no malfunction.
What are you talking about?
When we abandoned the ship, we did it deliberately. We were losing the war. We're deserters. After a while, I realized what we had done wrong. I wanted to go home, but the others were afraid.
So they gave you the drugs?
They're not bad guys. They're just hiding. And then Marty says to O'Neill, "You're going to hunt them down, aren't you?"
Not me.
But the military? The government?
I don't think anyone's going to find them.
So this is kind of like a really sad revelation of like, they're not bad people. They were running away from a war. They deserted, which probably isn't the most courageous thing to do. But, you know, if you're losing a war, fight to survive, you know, they made choices and they are still alive because of those choices they made. But, you know, they probably, at least Marty feels a little bit of guilt for it because he wanted to go back. And that's why they started to drug him and like make him look like a crackpot and be like, we'll make this guy look like a lunatic so that if he does say anything, no one's going to believe him and we can live our lives. And this is something I ask at the end of the episode to maybe have us reflect on it a little bit. So they get the go ahead to proceed through the gate. At the other side is a wasteland of destruction. Like it's just rubble. Like you could tell it was a pretty advanced city, just like completely destroyed. Everything is gone. Nothing is salvageable. So we get this last bit of dialogue between Marty and Jack.
So Marty says, they were right. If we'd gone back, we'd be dead now.
I'm sorry, Martin.
So now what?
We go home.
And that's the end of the episode. I'm assuming Marty goes home and is now living on Earth.
Mhm.
Well, I think we see him again.
We
comes-
see him again.
yeah.
Twice more.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess my question, or like the only thing that I had for themes and discussions, was how long have they been on Earth? Because like Marty has a driver's license, he has a house. Like how long did it take them to set all of this stuff up and just go through like all the bullshit red tape of like, I got to get a social security card, I got to get an identity, I got to work within these government systems. Like it makes you wonder how long they've been there. Or like, I don't know if they have some kind of technology with them that could help them along. Something that they took with them from their home planet. I don't know. But that was something I was kind of wondering, was like, Sam's looking up all this info. Like he has a driver's license. He has a glasses prescription. Like how long have they been here? And they've been able to really intricately set this up, which is, I think, why Jack is like, I don't think they're going to be found. Like, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think it's a decade or more at this point. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it feels like.
Yeah. So, and for a while, they were all together, hiding out together and setting this up. And then that's when Marty had kind of like that guilt hit him. And who knows how long they've been drugging him to keep him quiet. We don't know that either. So it makes you wonder how long they've been here, but they seem to have a really good setup. Like this one guy's posing as a doctor prescribing medication. Like that's not easy to do. Like whose prescription pad did you steal to do that?
Okay, I have this theory. I think like a decade they've been there, because you have to think about where they crash landed and then the amount of earth and growth over it, and you look at the land. So like that's how we determine how long they've been there, and that looks like a decade's maybe worth. There's not like full, like you could still see it. So
Geologists in the comments, let us know.
Yeah, someone let us know. But definitely not like a year. They've been there longer than a year, longer than 2 years. Like,
oh yeah.
Because long enough that like he would have had to like go through feeling guilt.
There's a paper trail.
House.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also find it very telling that they obviously are not fighters, to the point that they kept up this gimmick of like drugging him, where like they are going through all this work to not kill him. They're just trying to keep him like in a corner, like just sitting there, but they're not willing. Yeah. But they're not willing to harm him or do anything further. And I think that's really telling about kind of, I would say, like, as to why I just like kind of let them go. Like to Jack's point of like, nobody's going to find them. Like, I think even they were just trying to keep you quiet. Like, that's it.
Yeah. Because they don't even have, they have Dr. Tanner, and that's probably some kind of alias. They don't even have any names for these guys. So they have nothing to go off of. They truly are like ghosts in the wind. So I think one of my favorite parts was hearing random conspiracy theories, the lizard people, the CIA sanctioned microwave, whatever the fuck, like hilarious. So that's why we're going to look in our comments check to see what some of your favorite conspiracy theories are.
Yeah, there are a couple of comments that were through the episode. Just a few that I starred. One was kind of went with us as far as, can we just take a minute to appreciate Sam's hair and outfits throughout this? Listen, I don't care if it's dated.
This is very, very true.
Yeah. It is nice to see them in something that's other than their...
Okay, wait, before we go to the comments, because I'm not looking at them specifically for it, can we talk about, like, do we have favorite conspiracy theories?
Yeah, let's go through ours first.
Yeah. I still have one. I have one more comment from the episode first, though. Like,
okay, perfect.
I'm saving all the other ones, and because Mara said,
okay, perfect.
Why can I picture Teal'c practicing his role leading up to it? This is when he was in the kitchen, right? Just intensely, carefully turning the wheel with the camera beforehand.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's gonna.
I love it.
Just right there. And I think, Yeah, just we got it. Also, probably practicing the whole idea of being in the kitchen too. I would add,
Yeah.
like he's like practicing for that whole thing.
I love it.
And then one other one, Adriana, I think came in a little late. Yes, 2 out of the 3 of us are going to SpaceCon, so we will.
Yes.
Christina and I will be there. Just
Not
saying.
me. Sorry.
Not Sarah,
Sad.
but 2 of the 3 of us with the companion folks
Sad.
will be there.
Mm.
All right. Now all I've got is conspiracy theories. So now we can go into the conspiracy theories. I will say that there was a whole back and forth in the comments about boy bands in Stargate. You can read through the whole thing if you want to, but it's a whole back and forth for a while.
Okay.
It's quite
Oh, I started to see it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Okay.
I think my favorite current conspiracy theory is the fact that the Democrats manufactured the hurricane in order to reap votes for the election. That's just fucking silly, man. We're seeding clouds to make hurricanes.
But at the same time, they don't believe in climate change.
Yeah.
They don't
That
believe in climate
and
change.
then of course my tagline
I
my
saw
tagline about how they're eating the pets in Springfield, Ohio.
yes.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets. I fucking can't. It's so laughable. And it'd be really fucking funny if it wasn't so sad. But yeah.
There's a really funny TikTok I saw just today of it's a clip of Matt Damon from like what's that movie where he's like a genius?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, thank you. And he's like, I can do this in my sleep, blah, 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 like that. And that's like, he's the Democrats yelling at the Republicans who don't know how to control the weather. Like, you're stupid.
I saw like a TikTok comment too, where someone was talking about something ridiculous and they were like, everything's a conspiracy theory if you don't know everything, or you don't know, like, everything is a conspiracy if you don't know anything. Like,
yep.
So those are some of like the ridiculous ones that we've been kind of seeing lately. But then you have the classic hits, the Bigfoots, the you know, that
Fake
kind of
moon
stuff.
landing.
Yeah, the
Flat Earth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say like
Oh,
the JFK assassination, because like that's not a conspiracy. Like, something definitely happened. Like, we just don't know all the facts, so people are gonna speculate. But
yeah,
stuff like that.
I love it.
I have
what's yours?
one. Well, I have one story. So when I was traveling through Eastern Europe after Korea, we made a stop for a couple of weeks in Bulgaria, and we volunteered in a hostel there. We kind of like started to get to know some of the townspeople. Some of them were also foreigners, and there was this one British dude, and we would see him at the pub like every night and everything. And he started like ranting about. We ended up in a huge argument with him. But this is kind of what kicked things off, and then it got worse. But the 2 ridiculous things that he claimed. The first one was that you can't actually go to Antarctica. The cliffs are too high, and nobody's ever set foot on Antarctica. That was one.
Okay.
Number 2, which kind of weirdly goes with it because it's the opposite, is that he fully believes that people once lived at the top of Mount Everest.
I don't know. That's just,
and like things are being hidden from us about, but like you can't go to Antarctica. Maybe there's something else going on. And then like all of this, and then he went down this whole rabbit hole. I'm pretty sure he is a flat earther. I'm pretty sure he was all of that. We ended up getting into this massive fight. He got really nasty with Tim, who I was dating at the time. And I dug in on him because Tim's too nice to do that, right? So like,
yeah.
Leave it to me, especially having had a few beers. I will dive in on somebody. And he like tried to insult me by calling me a lesbian, which was really funny. It's like,
and you're like, okay,
that's when you know they've got nothing.
I mean,
left
you're
in
kind
the
of like
tank.
half right, but also like, what?
That's when the personal attacks start. That's when you know they've got nothing left.
He was convinced that there were these places you could and couldn't go to, and things were being hidden about all of that. And it was just like, you're an idiot, man. Like there's no oxygen at the top of Mount Everest. Okay. Like,
yeah.
What?
Oh, I can't.
Yeah. So that one was a fun one. But I think my favorite is usually the like that like the moon landing was fake, but it was also like directed by Stanley Kubrick or something like that. Like I think that's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, see, okay. So my favorite, like beyond the flat earther, I love a good flat earth like rabbit hole because it's just like nobody makes sense when they're trying to make that argument. And I'm like, okay, you don't understand physics or science, but that's fine. But absolutely, I love the conspiracy theory, and I love a good like that the world ended in 2012 when CERN imploded us into a black hole, and that like we like shifted timelines, but we just don't know it yet. Like that whole conspiracy theory. If you guys don't know about that one, but
No.
yeah, you should look it up, or I'll send it to you. But yeah, essentially, when CERN did something in 2012, it ended the world. We got sucked into a black hole, and we're just like haven't caught up to the world has actually ended yet. Yeah, that's a fun one. That, or we've timeline shifted, like it jumped us. That's a fun rabbit hole because then it goes into the whole Mandela effects and why we're seeing certain things, and those rabbit holes are, I love eating those up.
I do like a good Mandela effect, like the Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bear. Like I think just like this whole like collectively misremembering something is a very even if it's true or not, like I don't think it's true, like alternate timelines where it's not Fabries, it's Fabries or whatever. Like I do think it is interesting that people like collectively misremember something.
Well, I went down this really interesting rabbit hole of someone really talking and explaining the fourth dimension in a way, like obviously we can't talk about the fourth dimension because that'd be like someone living in 2D talking about 3D, but they were explaining how like it's not like in a world that we can't even begin to understand. It's not that we timeline shift for things. It's just like, oh, maybe a fourth dimension passing through that we just don't understand. And when you see it for a moment, it might change back. I don't know. I've gone down some really trippy rabbit holes with that. So don't recommend it unless you're really in the brain space to stay grounded. But it's really fascinating because I'm like, okay, this whole like quantum stuff, like I can enjoy this for entertainment, but man, I don't want to think about it being real because it's just devastating. But it's interesting. But who are we? I don't know. I just know I'm here. I'm living and breathing, and I have, 2 feet on the ground, and I'm on this earth, and it's about as much as I can handle right now. So,
I do. There's one more I have that I was kind of remembering while you guys were talking, was like people who think that dinosaur fossils are fake and that they were planted by people, and it's like, why don't we find fossils of other animals and they're not really bones? And it's like, well, no, they're not bones, they're fossils of bones, and it takes very specific circumstances for bones to fossilize. Like, I don't know, like I remember watching like a podcast where an actual paleontologist was like, it was, forgive me, it was Joe Rogan, sorry, but like he was going over this guy, like this conspiracy theory video, and this paleontologist was fucking pissed. Like he was like, this is ridiculous. Like it was hilarious to see this guy react in real time because like this is his life's work, and some fucking idiot on the internet is just like, fake news. Like it's interesting, but
yeah,
that was another one.
I mean, there's tons of them, but
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like with conspiracy theories, I don't know, Sarah, maybe you feel this too, but like I feel like I conspiracy theoried out after the entire run of the X-Files.
Yeah.
Oh, fair.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I don't even like get excited by them anymore. Like,
no.
even when the Democrats are controlling the weather thing came out, I was like, okay.
Like it honestly, like it makes me sad because they're either silly and fucking bullshit like that, or it's really tragic where it's like, this is a conspiracy. The cops are covering shit up to save their own asses about someone who was murdered. Like those are the conspiracies that I see now, and they piss me off, where it's like, this is a true cover up and someone's trying to save their own asses for something they messed up, and someone is dead or someone got hurt because of it. And like that's the kind of shit that like, those are the conspiracies that I listen to more now, because it's like they're true. It's not like Bigfoot and cryptids are all fun and everything, but like, there's conspiracies out there that are actively hurting people, and cover-ups that are actively like hurting people's lives.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we got a couple that are fun that I'll point out from the comments.
right.
The first one from Nell. I heard this one recently. This might be my favorite in the comments. Conspiracy theory that Vancouver police disappeared a crow for stealing a murder weapon from a crime scene. And that led to some comments in the comments about, well, technically it was his weapon to begin with, and they said, oh no, nope, he'd have to be 1/3 of the owner of that of that weapon because of murder of crows. But yeah, they disappeared a crow potentially.
They probably just blamed it on the crow because they fucked up. See, that's where my mind goes to right away. It's like
The crow took it. Yeah.
It wasn't
they
our
like
terrible.
they like shiny things. We couldn't do anything about it.
It wasn't because Billy Bob like mishandled the evidence. I don't know.
Oh, surely not.
Yeah.
So here's another one. Walt Disney is cryogenically frozen and is in Disney World waiting to be revived.
I love this one.
Yeah.
That's
I kind of believe it. Like, I kind of believe he'd be like, yeah, freeze me.
I think if he was brought back, though, he'd instantly like have an aneurysm because it'd be like way too far advanced for him to understand and be like, what, Jews are allowed in my park or whatever? Like, I don't know, stuff like that. Like,
It'd be bad.
Yeah,
It would be real bad.
Yeah.
Captain Swan did point out all the fun creature conspiracies. So Ned, Champy is a version of Nessie
Like
from
Champlain.
Lake Champlain. Yep. Look
The
for
Jersey
Champy
Devil.
Mothman.
Yeah.
I
I love a
love
good
Mothman.
werewolf or like Wolfman. Me and Adam were watching The Silver Bullet last night, the Stephen King adaptation, because I love a Stephen King adaptation. So yeah, a good werewolf story.
And then we've got Mara coming in for a good way to round out the conspiracy theories. Here's Mara's. My favorite theory is the Stargate is real and the whole show was a leak that they turned into a script for the cover-up.
They did have the Air Force in their pocket. Like,
yep.
They're like, yes, do this, yes. And then they went one step deeper even with the whole Martin Lloyd thing. And they're like, oh, people are gonna think we're doing this for real. Oh no, we'll just make fun. We'll take it a step.
We'll just
further.
keep going.
We'll keep going with it.
Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
That's awesome.
I like it.
Do we have any other good comments just in general?
I just like the whole boy band back and forth.
The boy band thing. I don't know how to get into it other than there's no good way.
I think people just need to go to the comments on our YouTube and just
come to the
watch
comments.
it.
If you're coming here after the fact, watch the live comments, please.
Yes. It starts when it talks about
the ship fitting 5 people. Yeah. 4 to 5 people.
Sarah Euler put the Matrix exists.
Oh, that's a good one.
Show. There we go. Yeah. I was actually thinking about that. I don't know how. What was it? Oh, I was listening to one of my Reddit podcasts, and they were reading from a subreddit called Glitch in the Matrix. So like stuff like that, like deja vu, or like you see stuff and it's a glitch in the Matrix.
I think, well, it comes from something. There's a pretty massive, like massively accepted theory, not that it's true, but it's accepted that it would make as much sense as anything else, is that we're just existing in a simulation.
Yeah.
Or so and that's kind of what I mean. That's, I'm sure, where the Wachowskis got the Matrix stuff from too, anyway. But like, that's a fun one.
The one story
that was go ahead.
The one story they were reading was about this person who was like, I rent this house with my friends and there's always been this bathroom or this closet and it's always been a closet. And then like we rented it out for 2 days and came back and now it's a bathroom all of a sudden. And my roommates are like, it's always been a bathroom. What are you talking about? And so like, that was why it's a glitch in the Matrix. Like I'm losing my mind. Turns out the person had a brain tumor. So it's like, that'll do it too. Like I ran a call for a guy, like brain tumor, like it was so wild. Like in one moment he was sitting down to play music with his friends. Like they would come together every week and play music and they had sheet music. And then like in 5 seconds, even though this thing had been growing or whatever, in 5 seconds, this man could not read sheet music anymore.
Like they sat down to do it. And he was like, I can't read this.
That's
Like,
crazy.
that's how quick that can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. But it
That's
makes you
wild.
think too, like, and I can't remember, I was watching that show, Prophets of Science Fiction. I can't find it anywhere, but it was talking about one of the science fiction writers who really like pushed it's like, what is real reality? What is fake? What is not? Like, and it makes you wonder, like, all of your senses are basically your brain interpreting something. So if there's
Mhm.
something in your brain that's interpreting something different, it can be very real to you.
Mhm.
Perception is reality. How you perceive it is reality. So like
Mhm.
it when you look at something that way, it's like, okay, like to me that's the color red, but to a colorblind person, no, it's not. So
Yep.
it just makes you wonder, like, well, what is actually true? Like maybe there are colors we can't even see. Well, we know there are
Mhm.
colors that we can't see. So like it makes you wonder, like, what really is real? What is real to me might not be real to somebody else. And it makes you think about people who do have hallucinations, and it's like they
Mhm.
could very well be feeling or touching or seeing something that's real to them, but
Yep.
it's interesting when you break it down to be like it's all just chemical reactions in your brain that are telling you
Well,
what something is.
and I was having this conversation with my sister because we were more talking about the neurotypical versus neurodiverse brain, but this concept that for me, my life became easier and hers too when we realized we are people in our own world bumping into other people who are in their own world, and that their world may be a different perception than my world. And I'm cool if I just understand that they perceive it one way, I perceive it different, and there's no conflict. And this is just talking about just like sensory experiences. The like, yeah, like red might be red to one, or this isn't talking about like humanitarian. Like, this is talking about just like general like existence. But there's so many people that believe we all just live into the world, and like we all just like plug in, and like we're all supposed to like live. I don't even know if I'm going to explain this right because my brain is fried, but like like we're all supposed to just plug into this one thing and exist within it because there's just like unwritten rule. But to your point, Sarah, like how do we know that we're living on the same spectrum of seeing things the same way? But my sister and I are like, well, what if it's just not that? What if we're just like, all it's okay, I perceive it my way, and I don't have to try to get you to like see red as red. Like I just trust that like, okay, you're good and you see it your way and I see it mine, and we can just move along. But instead of just like, I think people worry too much about how other people perceive things. Maybe it's my like,
Yeah.
I don't
And
know
I
what
think
my ramble is about. But yeah.
I think I get what you're saying, because I think we're all guilty of like having main character syndrome at some point in our lives where it's like we're all
Mm-hmm.
focused on ourselves so completely. And there's a term for it, Christina, if I think what you're saying, it's called sonder. And it's the realization
Yes.
that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. So it's like,
Thank
wait a
you.
minute, these aren't all just NPCs walking around me.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has vivid, rich, complex lives,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a whole different set of experiences. I remember when I moved to where I currently live, I knew nobody in this town. And I had this like random realization. I'm like, I'm going to meet like a set of people that I've never met before in my entire life. Everyone will be new, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
anyone at all. And it was just like a weird realization of like, this is a fresh start type of thing. I don't know any of these people
Mm-hmm.
at all. And that whole feeling of like, that it's that sonder where it's like, whoa, this
Yes.
person, like what's going on in their life and what's going on in their life, and I'm not the main character type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for articulating what I was struggling to get through, but it was like that really interesting, I think, reminder for a lot of people that we're not the main character in the entire world. Like we are in our own, but there are other people main character in their own, and such and such. But yeah,
I mean, I would give people the benefit of the doubt. I would argue that a lot of people have that realization, but it's almost like your brain, for very obvious reasons, can't sit with that knowledge and that understanding of that at all times, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to like you wouldn't be able to like take care of yourself or anything. So it's really easy on a daily or even hourly, minute by minute basis to be like fully in realization of that in one moment, and then catch yourself getting frustrated or like something in another moment, and that's fine.
Totally.
It's fine because your brain is not meant to like constantly have that understanding at all times. It wouldn't work. We wouldn't be able to function.
No, but I think some people just like don't take time to like think about it at all, and you're like, and that's one of the things, like we're talking about, like raising children. That's one of the biggest things,
Mhm.
is when you like are raising children, like teaching them that they are not the main character, because that can really cause a lot of damage. And that's where it really rooted from, is because it's so easy to, especially like me having just one kid, like it's really important to, you're not the main character. Like mom
Mhm.
still has her life, Nana still has her life, you have your life and autonomy, and like that's where just being that mindful space of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that's really important to teach kids that too. Like,
Mhm.
again, I've seen so many, especially when it comes to like how society treats mothers. Women just lose their whole identity and just become mother. And it's like, you hear all these people talk about all the stuff my mom did for me. She cooked and did blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but who is she as a person? Do you know like what she fucking likes? Like, who is she as a person besides your personal servant almost? You know, so I think it is important to teach kids, like, yes, we love you very much. We are your parents, but like, you're not the center of the universe, and we are going on date night, and you're going to stay with grandma tonight because,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But yeah, I think that that's an important thing for kids to learn, because if they don't, they're going to grow up to be like really self-centered, like that horrible person with main character syndrome. And you see them out in the wild where it's like they're completely unaware of like what's going on around them. Like I think me and Adam today saw people just like parked their car in the crosswalk at Sam's Club to like unload all of their children to get out. And it's like, park your, I don't know, like really, there you can't.
I think the driving version of that has just gotten worse and worse recently.
Yeah, like they think they're the only
having
person
to
on the
drive
road.
anywhere these days. It's just,
it's
awful.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
It's the combination of main character syndrome and the total lack of awareness of the social contract, which we've all talked about. The social
contract.
Don't you dare fucking stop in the middle of the grocery store to catch up with Betty from high school that you ran into.
Especially if it's it's between me and the sour cream I need. God damn it.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
I need Miracle Whip. Get out of my way.
I need it.
Hold on a second. Miracle Whip.
Oh,
Whoa,
God. Oh man,
Whoa.
I love it.
Sorry,
Miracle Whip is in and of it. Miracle Whip is in and of itself a conspiracy theory in my mind.
Sorry if I offended your Southern sensibilities.
We don't discuss.
Is it even available down there? Do you?
Yes, unfortunately.
For the Yankees that transplant.
Tucked away corner somewhere.
It's the same thing that happens to Dasani water when people are having to buy water. It's like always the Dasani.
That's another conspiracy. It's been proven that shit tastes awful and it just makes you thirstier, so you keep drinking.
Yeah, they put sodium. They put too much sodium in it. Like,
y'all would be so proud. It was so funny. Speaking of Dasani, so Ryder and I were at a McDonald's, and she was like, today, like picking off the menu, because I don't know, we were using the kiosk thing, and she was like, I want water, and she saw it was Dasani, and she's like,
never.
I'll skip.
I'll take a crispy Sprite.
She was like, I'll take milk. I was like, oh, I love you that you already are like, no Dasani.
Yeah, no.
Thank you, Adriana, girl. Miracle Whoops, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, when they flip, it's kind of hard.
Thank you, girl. I love Miracle Whip too.
Oh,
get out of here!
Man,
get out of here! With your...
Fiji,
No, all right, no. Wait, oh, come on! The people are commenting. Thank you,
Duke's
Scott.
Mayo, yes.
Duke's Mayo all the way.
I don't know. I still love that at Dollywood. There's that big old Duke's Mayo like homage, like altar shrine. If y'all don't know what this is at Dollywood, there's a big old Duke's Mayo just sculpture, and it's amazing.
Duke's Mayo is from right here in Greenville, South Carolina.
It's
what
amazing.
Makes it so special? It's
a little tangier. It's a little different. It's hard to explain. You would have to do a side by side to understand.
I might need to do it.
Bonnie and I took some out when we went out to Seattle for my friend Jared's birthday dinner. Like we brought some out because we knew we couldn't get it there.
Yeah,
and we had his friends try it out there, and they're like, "Oh, this is different." Oh, like it's hard to explain otherwise. But it's good. It's good stuff.
I love it. Okay, this is all
right. Well,
good chat.
So it's gonna be a little bit again before we come back, y'all.
Yeah.
And maybe with Terrell in tow, we'll find out. We'll figure it out. So hang in there. I will say we'll try to post what we can on the Instagram for SpaceCon for everybody who can't be there. Maybe Christina, maybe we can actually commit to making some videos while we're there.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
We always say we're going to do it, and then we never do it. So
We
But
even
this
plan
time,
to,
if there's no
podcast.
panel,
Yeah.
yeah,
there's no
we can do
panel. There's no
something.
panel, so we can do something, or we could even do a live. We could go live from there with Sarah if we wanted to, or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that'd be
So,
fun. I'd like that.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Bring you into it. All
Yeah, yeah.
right. Cool, cool.
I'm pretty sure I closed it last time, so I'm not doing it.
Is
this
it
time.
mine to close?
I don't even know.
I know it's not me. I know I closed
We're
it.
just tapped out.
No, it's not you. Give me a second. I can close it out. 1 second.
Okay.
Scott, I will
Alright.
not have the Miracle Whip slander in the comments.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh my. Oh my.
Southern. You Southern people. I'm just kidding.
Oh, stop it. Okay.
Let's-
All right, we're ready.
I got
Yeah.
my hand on the button.
Oh wait, hold on. What is he called? Murray. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, I had it. Okay, anyway. All right, Murray, I know you think I'm going crazy here, but I need to get out of this bathroom. I need to get out. I need my drugs because the little sensors are telling me I've got the signals coming in. And if I don't get to that iris, if we don't close it, I'm gonna fucking pass out. I'm gonna die. Close the iris, please.